Hi everyone, this is Christina with Black Tea News, and today we're going to be talking about Merrick Garland. He was the nominee that Obama tried to get on the Supreme Court after Scalia passed away, and of course that did not go that way because McConnell and the Republicans made a gamble, and it paid off because Democrats were like, well, Hillary's going to win and she's going to appoint someone more left-wing. Haha, Republicans are going to feel stupid. And of course, Donald Trump ended up taking the victory. And so now Biden's in office. Obama terms, basically 3. But he's bringing back Merrick Garland to be the attorney general. And so Ted Cruz said he thought things were going rather well. He's probably going to be confirmed. But there were things that made me raise my eyebrows. Here's what Merrick Garland said about when he was asked about boys and girls' locker rooms and so on.
In my last 20 seconds, I'm going to ask you if you agree with this statement. Allowing, and I'm not suggesting the answer one way or the other, I just want to know what you believe. Allowing biological males to compete in an all-female sport deprives women of the opportunity to participate fully and fairly in sports and is fundamentally unfair to female athletes.
This is a very difficult societal question that you're asking here. I know what underlies it.
I know, but you're going to be Attorney General.
Well, but I may not be the one who has to make policy decisions like that, but it's not that I'm adverse to it. Look, I think every human being should be treated with dignity and respect. That's an overriding sense of my own character, but an overriding sense of what the law requires. The particular question of how Title IX applies in schools is one, and in light of the Bostic case, which I know you're very familiar with, is something that I would have to look at when I have a chance to do that. I've not had the chance to consider these kinds of issues in my career so far. But I agree that this is a difficult question.
Thank you, Judge.
Now, here's the thing about this. It's really not hard. It's really not hard. If you were born a woman, you're going to die a woman. If you're born a man, you're going to die a man. There's no way that you can identify out of that. If you could identify out of that, then you wouldn't need hormones. You wouldn't need surgery. If you, a woman's identity, which some people don't even define it. And if they do define it, it's like whatever you identify with, which to my question would be, then what makes women special? Why do they keep bragging about, oh, this woman's been appointed to this thing. This woman's been appointed to this thing. If it's so simple that you can just identify your way into it, what makes it special at all? People say that sex is different than biology, yet people get upset when you try to determine things or announce that certain things that are biological and you don't include men in it. Like if you want to say people who get pregnant rather than women who are the only ones who can get pregnant, or that girls have periods or women have periods, instead of just saying people who have periods. You can identify your way into having a period, and you certainly can't identify your way out of having the symptoms or the pains or anything of a period. So it's a club, and you have to pay the price to get in. So it's really not that hard, and I understand that that it's a difficult situation. I don't know what it's like to be a man who feels like they're a woman, and maybe you start going through some different treatments. I don't know what it's like to be in a boys' locker room with that sort of issue, and to rather want to be in a girls' locker room because that's where you feel like you belong. But I do know what it's like to be a young woman and to be shy and a bit insecure, and to be in a girls' locker room and not even want to change in front of the other girls. And I certainly can't imagine what would happen if you put a boy in that situation to be in that situation with me. And I don't understand why there's just absolutely no consideration for women in these circumstances, why they have to play on the back burner to these feelings and these emotions. Like, I believe everyone deserves respect. I believe that everyone deserves dignity. I believe everyone is entitled to the very same rights. But the other, as Dave Rubin would put it, doesn't need to supersede the considerations and the rights of the of someone who's cisgender. And for those of you who don't know what that term is, that's someone who, lives as the sex that they were born with. I don't understand why women have to be the ones who lose in these situations. Title IX, are we just going to ignore Title IX that, women have different, has a separation in their sports fields because men and women are different. Men are just stronger and they're faster, and that's just biology. People want to talk about sex is different than gender. Okay, and gender is something that is how you identify. Okay, but why are we denying science? Why are we denying biology? Sports, some of that is heart, some of that is your mental capacity. But a lot of that is biology, how you're built and how you shape up your body. And there's always going to be a biological component. That's why we have Title IX protections, because overall men are just stronger and faster than women. That is biology. That is biology. That is not even like an identification thing. That is the sex determines your advantage right out the gate. And people say sex is different than gender, yet they get offended if you say something like women have babies. Women get pregnant, and they want to change it to people who get pregnant. Why? If you do not have the the equipment, you can't do it. It's not something you can identify your way into. Women have periods. It's not men. You can't identify your way into it. If you could identify your way into it, you wouldn't have to do all the things that you do to look like a woman, to get surgery, to get their hormones and so on. If you want to identify and separate those things and have women be reduced to a stereotype of how you dress, maybe how you talk, maybe what you like to wear or listen to or whatever, and you want to reduce that down to gender because you say that it's a social construct, which my opinion that your opinion that gender is a social construct is a construct. If you want to reduce that down to a social construct, okay, but don't pretend that biology is something that is also part of the construct. So sports, in my opinion, a lot of that is biology. A lot of that is about physicality, and a lot of that men is just, they're just advantage off the gate. I know what it's like to play on a team against boys. It is not, I guess it can be fun, but it's not fun to lose. Like I remember playing volleyball, with boys, in gym, they just crushed us. I remember playing basketball with a friend, and he was so embarrassed because we bumped into each other and I got knocked down and I had this little burn on my cheek from where I skid, and he was so apologetic, and he just apologized a million times. He felt so awful, and I'm just like, it's okay. And but inside I was steaming, not because I was hurt and my cheek was messed. I guess because that happened, but mostly because I got knocked down and I'm way bigger than him. And I'm just like, I can't believe I let this happen. But the realities are the realities. And I don't understand why people feel that women are an acceptable sacrifice in this game. And I saw people responding to the questions, saying why are Republicans so obsessed with genitals? And they're like, are they going to do an physical exam every time someone identifies? First of all, people do have to get physicals to participate in school sports. That's a thing. And also, usually, at least I had to take a physical when I did volleyball or whatever. But also, you can tell in a lot of these cases whether someone is a male and female without having to touch their genitals. So you just live in a la kind of world. And that's a nice straw man you got there, but it's more than being obsessed about body parts. It's just being obsessed with and accepting the facts that maybe you have a daughter and maybe you don't want to put them in an awkward situation. Maybe they'd feel uncomfortable. Maybe you want to make sure that they can compete on a team and get a scholarship, and it's not given to someone who is not actually a female. And I would hate to be in that position in life where you feel so out of place like that. But there's a lot of people who can relate to some degree, and but it's just not fair to feel that you are so special that you have to put so many other people at a disadvantage. And like I said, it's not hard, Merrick Garland. It's not hard, leftists. It's not hard, Biden, Kamala, people pushing all this stuff, people pushing stuff with the Equality Act, where you would push that men have to be accepted into a women's battered shelter and all of this garbage, all this nonsense. Women are not acceptable sacrifices for your ideology. We're just not. You know, Obama was, was into this. The Justice Department, their Department of Education wanted to deny funds for people who wouldn't adhere to this. And I'm sure that Biden will kind of jump on that train a lot harder if they can. And a lot of people who was, in the Obama administration are back on with the Biden administration. That's why I said it's kind of like term 3. And of course, he's inviting people back like Merrick Garland, which maybe, and I hope and people are listening to Garland say that, he would run his department independently and he would, just try to adhere to the law. And some people are maybe trying to be optimistic about it, and some people don't believe him, but you just kind of have to wait and see. But the Justice Department was very political under Obama. Conservatives were treated quite unfairly, and there's a lot of radicals in the Biden administration. So just watch out for this stuff. I can say I'm glad this guy was not a Supreme Court justice, obviously, and we'll see how he handles being Attorney General, because I believe he's going to be confirmed. But as I said, it is not hard. It is not hard at all. But anyway, if you like this video, please go ahead and share it around. Visit blacktnews.com and also check out some of the stuff that we have. And you guys have a great day.